Pregame.tv. It is March. You know what that means? It's time to talk NFL draft. Just kidding. It's time to talk March Madness. We're going to lead it off with the Albany Great Danes against the Duke Blue Devils. Who cares if we already know who's going to win the game? We can wager on it and maybe make some money. And I'm here. I'm Steve Fezzik with Vegas runner Bryan Leonard. Bryan, welcome back. How was spring training?
A lot of fun. Nice and relaxing.
How's the rotation?
The rotation?
Good.
Pitching rotations?
Good.
Yeah.
Is this an inside joke rotation? It's like ice, meaning hockey or something else? No.
No.
All right, let's stay up. Let me ask you guys. Let me start with you, Vegas runner. The 116, the 215 games, I'm guessing you probably get more involved with the games with more spreads closer to pick 'em, or is that incorrect?
These days, yeah. Back in the day, I'd get involved more in those because I think the market wasn't as tight as it is now. If you remember, there were years back when teams were given 30-plus points. You don't see that
every number one seed was playing 30+.
You never see that anymore. I mean, it's just like, with baseball totals. Now you see 6 and 6.5s, and there was a 20-year period where you never saw lower than a 7. So, I mean, the market becomes more efficient. So, yeah, I look more toward those games with smaller spreads for sure.
Now with these, the spreads used to be 30, 26. Now that they've come down to 18 and 20, there's the thought of you cannot take a dog, or you can't go against a dog in the NCAA tournament in the first round. I don't know if that's still true. What are your thoughts about that?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think you could blindly bet the dogs anymore where, you knew then if you take all the biggest dogs blindly, you're probably going to be able to come out a unit or two ahead. I don't think that's the case anymore. You got to be more selective. But I think, I don't know what the numbers show, but I would think that some of the bigger favorites do better now than they have in the past.
No doubt. Bryan, let me ask you, when we talk about these big favorites, would we expect a team like Duke, the team that everyone recognizes, you got all this public money, the Michigan States and the like, that it's even harder for them, though, to go ahead and cover these big numbers than, say, a Gonzaga?
I don't think so, because we're in a situation right now, we've heard this all year long, top teams getting knocked off all the time. There's no clear number one like there was last year. The teams are taking money. If you look, the ugly dogs in this first week have taken money. Teams have moved 2 points. To be honest with you, I'm looking to go against that because I think these teams, especially in a game like this, it's one thing I look for when a team gets knocked out of their conference tournament early. There's more motivation there. They got more time to practice, and the lines are cheaper here. So those are the kind of games I'm going to be looking for.
Let me stay with you, and let me ask you, this is my handicap on this game, is that Duke lost, looking at the game after they lose, they've given up 57 points, 56 points, 64 points. Coach K, when they lose and they give up 80, Coach K brings it and really emphasizes defense. So I'm coupling that with the fact I can't name a player on Albany, but I know VR can. I'm going to ask him about that. But in their conference championship, 99 points, 120, 102. So Albany won with these really, really low-scoring games. Would it not be logical that Duke is going to put the hammer down on defense and Albany is going to look to slow this game down?
It very much could be. We're talking small sample sizes. Duke, they've lost 5 games this year. The 4 losses before this, they're 3-1 against the spread after that. Obviously a small sample size, but you're going to get a good effort. And because they got knocked off early in their tournament, I think we're going to get a focused team here on Duke. Albany, we don't know. We kind of talked about this about the air. They haven't played anybody, so we really don't know what we're going to get out of this team.
What do you think, VR?
Yeah, here's the thing. Sometimes these teams that play in these conferences have a good non-conference schedule, meaning it's tough. When you look at Albany, they haven't had that. I mean, they're 314th, according to Pomeroy, in non-conference schedule. So they've played nobody even close. They have not seen the athletes they're going to see when they play Duke. With that said, they do have 2 senior guards, and that's always good come tournament time, even though they're not an experienced club. But I agree with you. I think you have to slow the tempo down. And when you look how Albany plays, they are one of the slower tempo teams. I think they're like 287th in tempo. Sure. So they know going in they don't have the athletes to run with Duke. Then the way they play the game is slow tempo anyway. And I think if you look at the Duke side, the one weakness Duke has is depth. This team has no depth at all as far as bench goes. And if you're going to make a run, you gotta have some fresh legs. So I could see Coach K not really getting those starters through the whole game, letting them play the whole 40 minutes, and letting those guys that haven't played at all maybe come in. And sometimes you get an effort from them, but I think with Albany slowing it down, with Duke slowing it down, I think this has the makings of a low-scoring game like you do.
Let's make it official then. I like it. This is my free play. We're going to go under 132.5, Albany Duke. One other reason that I like this play is that having watched enough Duke games, when Coach K gets up 20, it doesn't matter that the game is won. He absolutely runs the four-corner, runs the shot clock down just to practice for later games, and I think that there's a good chance that that's going to happen. So I'm not even going to be worried too much if the first half goes over by just a little bit, under 132.5. I think we got a good free play here.
I like it. I'm surprised. Because it's Duke, it's 132.5. I thought this would come out in the the high 120s.
You get two different styles of play, but I am concerned about Albany. They played one game since the 11th, where most of these other teams have played 3 and 4 since
Old
then.
shooting, baby.
Yeah. See what happens.
Be still. Speaking of low scoring, when we come back at pregame.tv, we're going to talk about the Wisconsin Badgers. Aren't they a fun team to watch? Not. And they're going to be taking on Ole Miss. We should have a good spirited discussion on that game. Whiskey.